Hey everybody, my next guest is a very funny comedian from North Carolina. His comedy special, Male Nurse, can be found on Amazon Prime and Tubi. Here he is, folks, Shaun Patrick Flynn. Shaun, how you doing, man?
Doing good, Don. How are you?
Good, brother. It's been a minute. It's been a minute, man.
It's probably been like 7, 8 years.
Yeah, because I met you through Jason Adamo and the whole
Yeah.
Adamo crew.
And I have to apologize to you right away. Like, you actually didn't make the cut of the documentary, and I am sorry about that, and I will make it up to you.
All right. Yeah, they remember you were working on the Jason Adamo documentary, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a long time ago, man.
Yeah.
And I remember that's how I met you. You were like a videographer following around Adamo and the whole band. We had a lot going on at the time. I was with the Carolina Hurricanes, and Adamo was we really brought him into the fold, having the local artist there. He sang that Raleigh Nights song and all that stuff. And you were there for like some of the music videos. You were
Oh,
around
yeah. When he was
quite
filming the music video out there, I mean, we ended up like going out to California too. Like, I mean, I met Jason way back, man. Just always loved the dude, love his music. At one time I was like helping him a little bit with his music, and then I moved to New York and I helped other people with their music. So it was awesome to like I was learning how to be a filmmaker, but I also got to do like a film about my buddy's band. So it was kind of just it was cool.
That's cool. It would have, it would have been even if better with that documentary as if I would have been in it. Then I think it would have.
It would have been better, Don. I'm not arguing with you on that.
No, that's
Like,
great.
you know what though? I'll tell you what happened, dude. I shot that movie, and it was an hour long, and I brought it to my teacher, and he goes, it's supposed to be a short film. It's supposed to be 12 minutes.
Wow, yes,
So
that's a lot.
I had to edit it down to 12 minutes, and then I
Wow,
had to tell a story, and
dude, that
couldn't
is
fit you and the
hard.
Hurricanes in there, man.
That is hard to do if cutting something from an hour to 12 minutes. That's a lot of left on the cutting room floor. Do you have a director's cut?
You know what? I do, and I have like the thing is the drive is so old because like that was kind of the last film I kind of made. Like I kind of let you know people like yourself, production people. I let like you guys do the camera stuff. I like to be the ideas person after because that film in my mind, I thought it was terrible. Like, and it's really funny because I do. So I have it on this drive, and I just don't have the right connection. But anyways, it was funny because like I was showing it at Duke, where I like that was I was taking classes at Duke in this documentary program, and I was like, I showed it, and I thought it was terrible. Everybody had all these like really meaningful documentaries about politics and like human rights, and like mine was this like music thing about my friend, and I was like, oh man, the thing sucks, and like technically I sucked. Like I fucked up with the camera a few times, and I like tried to make it artsy, and I was sitting there and I was like pounding drinks at this reception, and this guy came up to me and he was like, I just want you to know I fucking love the film. And I was like, are you serious?
See that? Sometimes we're our own worst enemy,
Yeah,
that
totally.
I think every creative person feels that way. Like it's just not good enough, or that we're fooling them all, like
Oh, imposter syndrome for sure.
yeah, yeah. It's crazy that that's I think that's also part of the drive of a creative person is to feel not worthy, and it gives you that extra push or whatever it is. But yeah, I've been there, man. I know that I know that feeling. But to get that one person, or to have people, to say that they loved it, it just
Yeah.
is what it's all about. That's more than anything.
I must break you. I could have been a contender. I could have been somebody. Instead of the bum that I am today.
Where can we
You know,
find that? Is that out there?
it's
Is that
out there. I took it down from my socials because like you know, with all my comedy stuff, it didn't really make sense to keep it on any of my channels. So I kind of gave him the footage, and I was like, "Do what you want with it." Like, I wish I had sent it to film festivals. I wasn't savvy like that at the time. I was like still learning.
Well,
You
back
know,
then
I
they
had only
probably didn't
done
have.
comedy in the past. So, and I was like, and that's why I was doing all that stuff, man. Because like I was like, I had been doing comedy in New York, and I was back in North Carolina there, and then like they actually had this like cool public access station that offered free filmmaking classes, and I just took advantage of it. And then Duke had this documentary arts like graduate certificate program, and it was like real easy and it wasn't expensive, like, you know, so I just did it. But yeah, I just need one person to tell me they like it. That's it.
It's like that with everything, you know. Like as long as there's one person that believes in you, that could be the fuel, all the fuel you need to keep going. You know,
Yeah.
that's what I do. Like you know, because there's only like a handful of people that you.
Same boat, buddy.
Yeah, yeah. but but yeah. Also with Adamo, do you still keep in touch with him? Because I know that you're
Yeah,
like a
dude.
nurse
Like
and
I do
stuff.
keep in
Yeah,
touch with him like on the internet. Like he actually is gonna like I mean this is like public knowledge. I don't feel like I'm dumping it on the internet, but Adamo is getting uh a kidney transplant soon. He like so I've been kind of like keeping up with him a little bit or just following him and you know every now and again just touching base with him. But yeah, man, like, you know, still keep in touch with Adamo and you know, I still hope that he takes off, man. Still do.
he's still going at it. He still sings great. He's a great performer, musician, and all that stuff. I've known Jason now, I don't know, uh, how long? About 12, 13 years, maybe
Yeah.
14, 15 years. So since the first day I met him when he came in with a CD, hey, you want to play this? And I played it and went over great. And then Raleigh Nights and all that stuff. It was just he's just a great guy. He's helping out my son now. My son
Oh,
is
nice.
a musician. My son, you know, he's not a little kid. He's 31 years old. He's
Yeah.
out there in the scene, and Adamo helps him out, puts him on his radio show, plays his music, gives him tips and things like that. So
Yeah.
great dude, great dude.
Totally, man. Dude, Adamo is the best, and I hope he gets a kidney. And I will definitely be, oh, man, thinking about him a lot.
How do you know if you're a match? Like, is there a way, like, if anybody's watching this and they, you know, want to help Jason out, like, how do you know if you're, how do you go about donating a kidney?
Um, to be totally honest with you, as someone who works on a heart and lung transplant unit, I have no fucking idea. No fucking idea. Um, I do know that occasionally, like, there's a lot of like when people get, like, there's a young nurse in Southern California. She is looking for, I think she needs like a stem cell transplant, and she's looking for a match. I mean, I think you can. It might be something that's Googleable. I personally have not even thought about it, but um, you know,
Yeah.
I think you can like I have no idea how to do it, but like I'm sure the resources are there because this girl, she had drives where they'd come out and they would like basically test people genetically to see if they were a match for it to be a stem cell donor. So,
Wow.
um,
Well, hopefully
yeah,
hopefully he
for bone
finds
marrow
somebody,
donor.
and if anybody's out there and wants to help out Jason Damo with the kidney, you know, find out if you're a match, and then in return he'll sing you a song.
He will write you Jason Adamo, who, by the way, he has a gold record for songwriting, which
Yeah,
is fucking
he's legit.
amazing.
He's legit.
He's fucking legit. He helped write Brett Young's songs. He's friends with Brett Young, and dude, like he deserves it all. He's a great dude, and he's super fucking talented. And dude, I know, like he had a voice audition. Like he didn't get, it wasn't like an in person one, I don't think, but like, or it was in person in Atlanta. I remember he told me, but it wasn't like a live show type thing. And
I saw him doing something on Instagram during the COVID era with the
oh
dude from
yeah,
Boys to Men.
he hooked up with that guy from Boys to Men, and he had like a really cool thing going on, and he met up with like other musicians, and they worked on stuff together, and they all bonded. It was like super cool. Like they should just had a TV show about that. But
Got to get it on. If you believe in love, if you believe in love, if you believe in love, baby, oh, I wanna get it on. Now,
Yeah. Are you in California now, or are you in still North Carolina?
yeah, I'm actually no, I've been out in California since like 2017 now. Like I took a
Damn.
nursing job, and I came out here to kind of restart my comedy career because it was kind of stale when it was in North Carolina, and I just was not really feeling the North Carolina comedy scene, you know. And
It was really small, tight knit little scene. Yeah, probably hard to
you
like.
know, and after being in New York, it was just like the I mean, I hate to say it, but the stakes were low, you
Right.
know, and I was just like, you know, just going to these, you know, I think the scene is better now. Like there's more like bar stuff going on, but like you only had like good nights in Raleigh, and like they weren't really giving, you know, really people opportunities, and like, you know, but like I hung out with like a couple guys that I did like there were like Mike Miller and, you know,
Yeah,
Mellow
Mellow
Mike,
Mike. Yeah, he's
fucking
awesome.
Mellow Mike.
Mello, you are a genius, man.
I know.
Thank you very much, man.
We're gonna go get the drugs.
Go get those drugs.
Yeah.
And Mark Brady, you know, Mark Brady, like he has a special online and it's doing well, and he has a dry bar. They're going to shoot a dry bar special for him.
Nice.
He had a sick ESPN like thing that covered by ESPN where he did the shoots from all over his house, and there were some guys that I really liked, but I just didn't like. I didn't feel like there were opportunities, and that's why I chose to like, well, let me try this filmmaking thing. Like this is something, you know, I want to shoot sketch videos. I want to do this and that. And it's funny because I wanted to do some acting too. And I know you were in an independent movie with Tom Sizemore.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was going to audition and send my stuff into that movie, but somebody lost my reel. And
Oh,
like,
no way.
you know, we could have worked on that together possibly.
That would have been great to have you in that. That was Remnants. And it was Tom Sizemore was in it. He played like a government official. It was like the world shut down, and yeah, I'm on the movie poster with him. So it's pretty cool. It was, but yeah, that would have been awesome to have you on there. And did you ever do any acting in the Raleigh film scene?
I mean, I did some like sketch stuff with like people I was friendly with in the comedy scene, just a few people, and that's when I was like, well, these sketches, they're fun, and I didn't really know what I was doing. And then what I realized back now is that you can just pick up a camera and shoot everything. When I was like, well, I don't want to write all these scenes all the time. And I was like, well, let me learn about the camera. Let me learn about editing. And that's kind of what I was doing at that time.
Yeah, no, that's smart. I think it gives you an advantage when you know more about the process than just like, oh, I just write the script and send it in. But if you know all the aspects of it, especially editing, this way, when you are directing or you're acting in it, you could already kind of think ahead and kind of edit in your mind of what you want each scene to be. So it gives you a little bit of an advantage. But yeah, so what part of LA are you living in now? Are you like in
I'm in
LA?
the Valley now.
In
I mean, I was over in Westwood for a while, and then I just moved to the Valley, getting married and all that.
Oh, good. Congrats, man. Yeah, awesome. So dude, so you did COVID in LA, in California.
Yeah.
So that must have been a little bit rough because they seem to be a little bit more strict over there.
Yes and no. I mean, it was strict, but it's not something I wasn't dealing with every day. So,
yeah, that's right, because you were
the masking, man. I've lived in a mask for like the last. I mean, even before COVID, like when we work with lung transplant patients, we have to wear them anyways. So, like, now it's just like more standard to wear a mask all the time in healthcare. That's kind of it. So it wasn't, the masking was okay, but yeah, shit was closed for a while, and like, it wasn't easy like navigating all that, but I mean, I feel like we did okay compared to New York,
Yeah, New York had a lot of high rates, high COVID rates, infection rates, death rates, all that fun stuff. We had
Yeah,
our
LA
governor.
is also known for their high STD rates as well. I just want to point that out while we're there.
As COVID cases decline, healthcare professionals are concerned about a different surge. National data shows HIV and STD cases rose during the pandemic, including in Sacramento County. Officials are so concerned about the rate, they're now trying to get the word out. Know your status.
Yeah,
LA is no stranger to a virus.
but so being a nurse during that time must have been nuts. I mean, because and also and rightfully so, you guys were the front line of the defense. The nursing staff and the doctors and all the hospital employees were the heroes of that time period. What was that like? It must have been scary, and if you must have felt like, take me through that kind of whirlwind of emotions.
Well, I'll tell you right now, it's just like, okay, I'm ready to die. Ready to die.
In the beginning, you must have had that feeling, right? Like, oh my God, I'm gonna get this and die.
Like, I was like, fuck, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna end up in the shit. Like, I know it. And it did happen, but at first I was like, man, I was like, shit. Like, I've been kind of crazy the last few years, and like, yeah, it pretty much drove me crazy. But like at first, like there was like this shit. It's like, yep, you could die, because like that was the fact that like in the beginning the virus was so strong, it was just killing people left and right. And it weakened up. That's basically what happened now. It's like it's just weakened down. But
Right.
like, it was killing people. There's no doubt about that. And I was just like, look, I mean, dude, I was single. Like, I've never been married. I have no kids. And I was like, I'm the perfect person to just die. Like, somebody has to die during this thing. It should just be me. Like,
but did you you must have felt like we say the front line of defense and all, it must have felt sort of like being a soldier or a warrior or a police officer or something when you're putting your life in danger every day, because you don't know at that point. Everyone was terrified of COVID. You're facing
everybody
it head on.
terrified.
Yeah,
there's not a person that wasn't terrified.
No, everyone
like,
was.
Anybody that says they weren't scared is full of shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
in those beginning months, it was scary.
when they were showing pictures of people, them like throwing bodies in freezers in New York, I was like, dude, what the fuck? Like, I was like, this is real. Like,
yeah.
I was texting my family. I was like, buy every mask you can get your hands on. Like, and like,
so
I was ready to start like. I was ready to start like my own like black market trade. Like, I had so much hand sanitizer at home. I had gallons of that shit.
Toilet paper
like,
hidden and
commodity. But I didn't. That's not me. I didn't fuck anybody over.
But going to work every day during especially those first few months or so, like the first 4 or 5 months of it, how'd you get through that? You must have had like that kind of game face mentality on there. Like, I'm gonna, I got to do what I got to do.
You know what I did? Yeah, and I guess like at first, like a lot of nursing is like tasky too, But I mean, it was a lot, and we were really busy, so sometimes those days would go by. But I mean, it's like kind of creepy. Like, you're going into this patient's room, you're like in a hazmat suit. Like, it's when you come in and out, you're sanitized. I mean, it was fucking crazy. And I kept myself sane by gambling. That's basically what I did. I gambled, but I played poker online, and then I played some more poker online. And
hey, that's what you got to do to like ease your mind.
And then it's just, I dealt with it, and I watched when it was all about what you did in your off time. You know what I mean? And then And then at one point, I think like a year into it, I was like, fuck, dude, like this isn't working anymore. And that's when I started working out again. I just started going like, it was like sketchy as shit too. I was like running with like a mask on and shit, like running miles at a time, like just practically like just pushing myself over the edge. And but I managed to live, and yeah, I just dealt with it, man, in like really fucking weird ways. And like I spent all this, like I bought a bunch of Adidas jackets, like all the Adidas jackets that I wear now. It's just like at one point I was just like I became obsessed with buying Adidas jackets. I'm like staring at a closet full of Adidas jackets that I don't even wear, Don. I don't even wear them.
Hey, they're trophies from that time period. That's how you
Yeah.
look at them. Look at those things like, yeah, those are,
Well, I like that. They're my trophies.
yeah. And now when you're going through this as the comedian in you, are you thinking of, okay, this is gonna be material, or this is gonna be something I'll use down the road, or is that completely not even there? Is it that serious of a time?
Well, I will say, like, and like, I left out the other thing that I did to cope was I started writing material again. Like, I came out here in 2017, and like, I wasn't feeling the stand-up scene at the time, like, and I ended up like taking classes at the Groundlings. Sort of like when I'm not feeling a scene, I try to like do something else in comedy. And so I was doing the Groundlings like right up to the pandemic, and I was just like, like during the pandemic, I thought about it, and I was like, if I make it through this, and I was like, if it's like, it's still like, am I gonna live? I was like, if I make it through this, I'm gonna give stand up another shot. So I started writing material again, and I started like, I didn't even have a car in LA, which is like really unheard of. The first 3 years I was here, so I bought a car. Like I was just like, I'm gonna get back into stand up. I started writing again, and that was kind of like that was the best. Like, and when I started working on the special, I was like, this is great. Like, my mind was completely off, but at the same time, like, I was still working a ton. Like, I was still working like 50 hours a week at this time. So it was like, I was overworking myself.
Right.
And they needed us. They still need us every day. So,
Yeah, I mean, like they say, tragedy plus time is comedy, and you're head on with a lot of this stuff. And sometimes to cope with things, to laugh at it, like they say, that laughter is the best medicine and all that stuff. I do believe in that. I do think that to find the light in something heavy
yeah,
is a beautiful thing. Sometimes it could really help you get through some stuff. And
totally.
in this case, this is like the world basically coming to an end. Like, we keep talking about the early months, because to me those were the scariest months. And then
Yeah.
and then going through it and being right there, you must have seen a lot of crazy shit happen and go down. How many times did you get COVID, or did you ever get it?
Never got COVID, Don.
Nice. Yes.
Never got it.
See
I
that?
got gonorrhea 3 times. I didn't get COVID.
Never got. That's awesome, dude.
No, like I never got it. It's like weird because like I did some sketchy shit in the beginning where like I had to go into a patient's room and I went in with like no mask, nothing. Because like the ventilator was, it's a long story, but I thought that the ventilator was gonna like pop out of this patient. And the smart thing would have been to just wait, or like send someone else in, or have them gown up. Just like it could have, I was just didn't want to chance it, man. Like somebody's life, dude. So I ran in unmasked, and like I came out, and they were like, "Okay, you got to go downstairs and like shower and put on a new gown," and like, but somehow I never got it, and I tested myself a bunch because like, uh, at one point there was just like free testing, and like, I was starting to go out into the world a little bit too, and I wanted to be a little bit responsible, because like I was dealing directly with it. Like,
Right. Yeah.
I don't want to like, I don't want
Spread
to be
it.
that guy. I don't want to be the vector,
Right.
the guy that carries the disease.
Yeah,
So I tested myself. I never got it. Never,
that's
my
awesome,
girlfriend
man.
got it. Never got it from her.
I never tested positive. I think I might have. I think I had it just because at one point I wasn't feeling great, and I did lose my taste and it's my smell for like a couple of weeks. So I think I may have gotten it, but I never tested positive. I took home tests and stuff because I work from home, so I never really got to have to go anywhere.
Yeah.
So, um, but yeah, I mean, it was just such a crazy time, and that's kind of what like with male nurse, you touch on that a lot in that special about the
Yeah. I
COVID.
mean, I think though that like people wanted me to be a little bit more vulnerable in that, and like I feel like the jokes in male nurse kind of represent more of how like people say that they're kind of like you know crass or like you know what else would you have written like I didn't have time to sit back and look back at it. I wrote that all those like fucked up jokes like in the middle of it. That's how I deal with it because all those jokes made me laugh, and like that's kind of what comedy is. Like you write jokes that make you laugh, and like hopefully other people like them. And one of our main jobs is that we administer medications, as I told you earlier. And we do that 3 ways in nursing. We do it orally, we do it intravenously, and we do it rectally, which is, of course, my favorite route of administration. But we have to do that sometimes because sometimes a patient can't swallow. And sometimes they don't make that medication IV. And sometimes the patient just likes being fingered in the asshole. A lot of nurses like it. Like, so they like the jokes because they can kind of relate. Like, a lot of nurses have dark senses of humor because we deal with a lot of shit. And I will say this, though, like, I'm not opposed to like writing a book about my experience or something like that, or writing, you know, some sort of script to deal with it. Like it's like I want to do the comedy about it. Maybe I'll do a more serious special, like like I don't know. Like I feel like I'm not sure yet. Like, and I'm still processing. I'm still like, dude, I have PTSD. Like for real. Like
I was just
I've
going to
had
ask you about that. Yeah.
I've had PTSD for a long time, and it's like it's getting a little bit better like every day, but like I haven't slept well in 3 years. I mean, you name it, irritability. Like I've been like just like and like for a little while, I'll admit this, I was posting some weird videos online, and it was like really kind of political, which is not my thing at all. And I did that because some people asked me to do it. I made like one video, and then all these nurses started emailing me and asking me, you mean I did like South Shore University Hospital on Long Island? I did a couple videos about that one.
Mr. Thomas, I'm here to give you the suppository the doctor ordered to help you have a bowel movement. The way it works is I'll insert it up your rectum, and then eventually you'll have a poop. Oh, but don't worry, I brought a little lube to soften the blow.
Did you just say you're gonna put a medication up my ass? Damn! Alright. Doctor's orders. Here we go. How about a countdown? 3, 2, 1. Oh. We done? I still feel something up there.
Yep.
I like those videos are not really like who I am. Like those were kind of like character videos anyways. And like I'm a stand-up comic. And I think eventually I want to do something a little bit different from Male Nurse. And I think Male Nurse is something I'm just moving on from now. Like it's just like these were the jokes I wrote during the pandemic. Some of them were like a little bit older, like that I just wanted to put down.
Right. Just archive them, kind of get them out there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like get them out there and be done with it and move on. I want to do the next thing, but shit, like after I did Male Nurse, dude, like you would think like like for like I was so worn out, dude. Like I just for like months on end, I did nothing. Like I just was on the couch. Like that's how tired I was. Normally, you would put out a comedy special and go on the road. And I didn't do that because I was way too tired. And like I couldn't do it.
Now where'd you record that? Was that
I recorded at the Virgil here in LA.
and that was during the first year of the pandemic still? So
No, it was like year 2.25. You know what I mean? It was like
right.
at that point, like in the second year of the like leading up to that year, I was working like 60 hours a week. It was crazy. And then I dropped down, like then I went down to like 50 hours a week. So like even like the week I shot it, like I still worked like a normal schedule. I think
Jeez.
maybe I took like a day off or something. I don't remember, but like I worked so hard, and like any moment like I wasn't working, I was like I was working out, or I was like planning things for the special. I was still writing the material. I was rewriting the material. Initially, I was going to do an hour, and then like I had a bunch of material. Like it was kind of like, okay, this all works like this. So I was like, I'm going to do this. And then, but like at the same time too, I kind of debated, and I was like, I don't really want to do an hour. Like everybody's like my first hour, and I was like, I just don't want to do an hour. I'm like, maybe I'm a lazy comedian, but like I just didn't want to do an hour. Like, and like I had like put out all my material, and I had over an hour, but I was like, I don't want to put everything out there, and like it was like this all kind of makes sense. So that's kind of why I went with it. And some people like it, some people love to say that they hate it.
As a male registered nurse, unfortunately, I hear a lot of sexist comments. It's true. As a matter of fact, recently this guy came up to me and he said, "Isn't nursing dominated by women?" And I was like, yeah, it is. As a matter of fact, I became a nurse because I want to be dominated by women.
I like it. I've watched a couple of clips. I like it. What I I love most about it is your timing and your rhythm of your jokes, and you it can go dark, and I like that.
Yeah.
And because you're unassuming at first, that people they don't expect you to go dark just by your demeanor, and you're standing there, you're wearing scrubs, you're nursing scrubs and all that stuff, and then you start going into these different areas, and I think it diffuses the the seriousness of what the pandemic was and COVID was, and you're a frontline nurse on this thing, and I just think you win over the audience fast, and yeah, so that's what I was taking from it, and again, the punchlines, the jokes, and all that stuff was really good, man. So kudos.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm like I said, like I just wanted to do it. It's funny you say that about my timing. Like it's weird. I know I have like a weird rhythm when like even when I speak, like I like, but it's funny because like you say you like it, other comedians say they like it, and then like no shit, like some random troll online will be like, oh, like you need to work on your timing. And I'm like, every comic is like awesome timing. Like
I think the timing is great.
Like why can't life just be easy and everybody just like the fucking internet?
But it made me realize something when we started using the word hero for what we were doing. It made me realize in this country, we use the word hero just for someone that does some shit the rest of us don't want to do. And if that's the case, my hero is the guy dating my ex-girlfriend.
I'm glad you got that special out, because like the pandemic and the COVID jokes have a short shelf life.
Yeah.
So, so that's why I think it's good too for you to keep getting into this other stuff. What kind of direction are you thinking for the next stuff you're going in?
Well, I mean, it's funny because like as soon as I was done, honestly, once I released once I released it, I actually started writing for the next one right away. And I wrote more nursing material, I know, but I don't know, I might do two. like
I
I
think
like I might do two. I because I wrote a bunch of nursing stuff and then I wanted to take a new direction. And like there's a lot of changes happening in my life. I also feel like people just don't really know me because I didn't really expose that so well in the first special. But like I think that like more than anything, I just like I will joke about anything and I make jokes and but I think that it is kind of cool if I can want, you know, do something different. Like but I do want to do something else nurse related, but I don't know if that would be like I don't know. I might just do like a half hour of like nursing stuff and then call the nursing stuff quits. But I am working on something else that's like about the changes in my life, you know, getting married, you know. I had kind of fucked up a real fucked up upbringing, so I should really kind of just tell the story of it. So like, you know how I was born on Long Island and everything and then they moved us to North Carolina when I was like 11 and it's just like that's why I have no accent. Like
no sense of culture. Yeah.
no sense of culture. Like everything is foreign to me. I'm like, I don't understand you. But no, but like I always still feel like deep down I feel like a New Yorker. I mean, I was there in '86 for crying out loud.
Yeah, yeah,
The
the
Mets
Mets.
won the fucking series.
Yeah,
I
huge
was
year.
there.
There
Not
you go.
not during the series, but that season I was there, and like I used to have like I used to have my birthday parties at Shea Stadium and shit like that. Like
Nice, man.
I've always I the second I left Long Island, I missed it, and I never like even when I was in high school, I was trying to like go back and like go to like prep school up there or something just so I could like go back because like I missed it so much.
Where on
Uh,
the island you from? You were from like Islip or something? I forget.
Manhasset.
Manhasset. Okay, yeah, yeah. That's a nice area to grow up in, Manhasset,
Yeah.
and you don't come back much, right?
No, I mean I used to visit, like I had friends in Manhasset for a long time and like my uncle lives in Great Neck and so like I haven't been back since I left in like 2010 and like we tried to do um a comedy show there like I guess it was 2 Christmases ago and it was like COVID had like kind of gone away, and then like all of a sudden New York got another blast, and they
Oh
started shutting
yeah.
everything down again, and like the theater forced me to like shut the show down, and so like they're like you're the only person trying to still do a show, and I was like, well, I booked a fucking plane ticket, like,
Yeah, exactly. You want to
but
perform.
it felt like I wasn't there also at the time, so I didn't understand like the seriousness of it too, because I was like. And then when he told me we were the last one, and then like, you know, there was a comic on the show, and you know they were kind of concerned, and I was like, let's just call this thing, like, you know, it's
Right,
just
yeah.
no reason. It's just a comedy show. There'll be a million comedy shows after this, so
Well, if you come back to Long Island, we could probably get you hooked up with a producer over here, show producer, get you
oh, that'd be dope.
in the govs. We governors now. I don't know the last time you've been to the governors comedy clubs.
I've never been to Governors.
Okay, well, there's three governors comedy clubs on Long Island. The main building is in Levittown, and that
Okay.
has three. There's three stages there. So they have the main stage, then they have
Uh,
the giggle room, and then they have the outside the patio.
they could put
So
me up in the bathroom.
we could probably definitely get you in the bathroom, but we could probably get you in the giggle room then on a set. And then there's McGuire's and there's the brokerage on different parts of
Yeah,
Long Island. So yeah,
yeah.
so
I mean, I just love to, because like you know, I mean, I have some Manhasset jokes too. Like,
I think it's great the take on it that you were just saying going to North Carolina at a young age and not having and not basically not having a home like that Neil Diamond song, New York's home, but it ain't mine no more.
Yeah.
I used to sing that all the time when I moved to North Carolina.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, like when I was living after after I made the documentary about Jason, was that the time? Well, no, that was afterward. I was going to say before, so you worked at RBC Center, but I don't know if you know that I worked there for a little bit too, like way back when.
Oh,
Like
really? Before me? Yeah.
like after I graduated from NC State, I worked at like Booth Amphitheater. I worked at 96 Rock. I was an intern at Deep South Entertainment. Like
Nice.
I wanted to
Yeah.
be the next Clive Davis. Like that was like my thing.
Yeah.
And that's why I moved back to New York, because I was like, I can't do that shit here. I was like, I got to try to move to New York and do that.
So you knew Dimitri and Salt and Dimitri that era of 96 Rock?
He was, I think he was kind of right after, but it was like, so at the time it was like Armand, it was Shannon Maxwell, it was uh Chopper and Jimmy.
Oh, Chopper. Yeah. Chopper
Chopper and
Harris.
Jimmy. They
Yeah.
had the morning show, but they got fired when I was there. That was like the time they got fired.
Chopper had that, hey, everybody, it's Chopper. He had like
Yeah.
a really hoarse voice for like radios.
And Nikki Sexton, who like she ended up coming out here to LA, and she was a DJ in LA for a little while too.
Super
And
cool.
it was a cool time, but like it wasn't like I was kind of like I only worked at those places part time, but I was full time at Booth Amphitheater. I was like on the staff there. It wasn't really.
So you probably saw a lot of great shows.
Oh, dude, I so many great shows.
Yeah, man. Those are good times. I miss it when you're talking about all that stuff like Deep South and all that. I miss. I've been gone since 2016 because that's
Yeah,
when I moved to Atlanta. Worked with the Atlanta Falcons for a little bit, about 4 years or so. Then I came here just in time for COVID. Came back to
yeah,
Long Island, did COVID all here because I was working for the Rangers, New York Rangers, for a little bit.
nice.
Then COVID happened. Everybody kind of got let go. Then I got another job working from home. Luckily, thank God, and I'm still with that company today. And then, here we are. It's just crazy. It was such a crazy time period that we lived through with this pandemic that I'm kind of glad that this comedy and things that kind of, what's the word I'm thinking of? I hate when I can't find the words, but it kind of puts it into an archive for the future. You know what I mean?
Well,
Where
I actually thought there might be a comedy explosion after the pandemic. I actually thought there might be like there has been an explosion of comedy, and it's great. Like it's really great. There's all sorts of different things happening in different ways, and I think that's great. But it's like cool because like I think a lot of people are, not just myself, but I think a lot of people are fucked up from the pandemic. Like it affected everybody, and I think that people they want to be entertained, they need a good laugh, but they're still kind of like pissed off. I mean, everybody's pissed off. Nobody was more pissed off than I. Trust me. You know, at everybody. At literally everybody. I was pissed off at the world like after I came out of the pandemic, but recently, like some good things have happened, and I just feel I'm trying to feel grateful. I always try to separate myself from the negativity, but like I really lost my grasp, and I think that's what I want my next comedy special to be about how I pretty much lost my shit. Like I
yeah.
think that would be more entertaining for people.
And I think too, like you talk about the nursing side, I don't think you should ever lose any nursing material.
Yeah,
I think it's who you are. It's also your kind of your niche. It's what and
yeah.
I think it works for a lot of the stuff that a lot of the comedy you talk about. Um, it's a good center.
But registered nurse is my profession, as well as my stripper persona. Hey, they want to take away nurses' pay. You got to do something, right?
It's cool because like I feel like I have like you know every once in a while I'll get like a nice message from a nurse that's just like, "Oh my God, thank you for making us laugh," blah blah blah. I mean, it's not like, it's not like I'm getting messages like that every day or anything, but it's kind of like when I do get it, I'm like, cool, I am doing the right thing. I mean, I did like, you know, make a hard decision. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go with this nursing shit. All this shit that I wrote, it's pretty big commitment to do it in scrubs
In
too. Because
scrubs
like,
too. You're going
you
all
know,
going all
sure,
in.
I've been criticized for wearing the scrubs too, and I was like, but it represents the whole piece. Like, it's not like people are just kind of like, I want to be entertained, like, like this is a bar room. Like, that wasn't the purpose. I was like, it was done in a way that was purposeful. Like, so
I like the scrubs too. Like, and I think it is important. Like a lot of people, like, get these purists comics, that might, you know, look down or whatever on like the same people that don't like guitar comics or ventriloquists or whatever. They might not like somebody who's comes in costume, so to speak.
yeah.
But
Well, I'll
I
tell you. Do you know who I got the idea from? I saw a bit of Christina P's episode, and she had this dope pink like thing on, and I was like, you know what? I was like, I should wear the scrubs. And somebody else said to me early on when I was doing, like, when I went back out in the LA comedy scene, it was probably like May 2021, when I was like, I'm going out, I'm going to start doing stand up again. And somebody was like, you should wear the scrubs on stage. And at first I was like, nah, nah, I'm not going to wear the scrubs on stage. And then when it came time to the special, I was like, I did a couple warm up shows, and I was like, I was wearing scrubs just to make sure I was making the right decision.
right, yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I was like, the scrubs seem right. And I was like, it just seems right for the material, and I'm just gonna do it.
I think it's great, and they're comfortable. I used
Oh,
to,
I love it. Like,
yeah.
that's kind of the best. Was like, after that, I've kind of done some shows in the scrubs, but like, the pants are super comfortable. Like,
Yeah.
and then like, of course, I wear an Adidas jacket.
That's awesome, man. No, that's great, man. I'm looking forward to your new material that you got cooking. Hopefully you get out here to Long Island, dude, and we get you up on stage. It'd be great to see you too. I haven't seen you in person in like
Yeah,
years.
man, for real. We
Yeah,
should go to
man.
Peter Luger's.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
They got one on Long Island. We should do that for
They do have
real.
a Peter Luger's here. I gotta find that.
Yeah,
Let
I
me
think
write
it's
that
up in
down.
Great. I think it's in Great. I could be wrong though.
To Great Neck.
Probably.
All right, I'm gonna
That's
look
what
it up.
my uncle took us there once. Or we could do the one in the city. I'd prefer to do the one in the city.
All right, I was just in Manhattan yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not much has changed there. Manhattan's nuts. It's still just as crazy as it's ever been. That was one
Oh,
good thing about the pandemic is if you walk through Times Square, it's like a ghost town.
oh gosh. Yeah. I mean, dude, I miss it anyways. God, it was the best.
Yeah, yeah. I was just walking through there the other day, just yesterday. It's
I miss
nuts.
passing out on that train and missing my stop.
Yeah. Good times indeed, man. Yeah, you got to come back. Got to come visit, man. We'll definitely. If you come back, we'll do Peter Luger's, man.
Cool.
That'd be awesome.
I've been fighting COVID for 2 years. But I want to tell you all about a health epidemic that is much worse than COVID. It's killing people by the millions. And it's called the body positivity movement.
Shaun Patrick Flynn, thanks so much, man, for taking the time to talk to me. It's been great catching up with you, bro.
Yeah, man.
Good luck with everything going on. And like I said, man, Peter Luger's, you come here to Long Island, we'll get you on stage. We'll go get some steaks. We're going to have a blast, brother.
Yeah, let's catch a Mets game too.
We'll catch a Mets game, and then hopefully neither one of us gets C. diff, and we'll be good to go, man.
I guarantee we won't get C. diff at Citi Field.
Thanks, man. Everybody, check them out. Let everybody know where they can find you and follow you and all that good stuff.
Just I guess Instagram at Shaun Patrick Flynn, and then like YouTube's cool. Sean Patrick Flynn on YouTube. You know, wherever, Facebook, whatever you're on, I'm probably on. TikTok. I'm probably going to take down some of these like weird videos that I put up there, but I have a website too. You can sign up for my email list on my website and stuff like that too. SeanPatrickFlynn.com. All that
Awesome.
shit.
Sean Patrick Flynn, everybody. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks, dude.